Afghanistan, the graveyard of nations. But even at the graveyard, many still live near death, following the rules so that they can survive. To someone who has known no else, this is their only utopia. Now, the best example of a utopia is found in a story written by Ursula K. Le Guin, which is called The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. And in this story, she describes the people as joyous. How is one to tell of joy? How describe the citizens of Omelas? As the tale goes, the people know of their joy, and from a young age they find their source of it, from a small boy living in the basement, abused by many and horrifying the hearts of the children that discover it. The boy's purpose, to allow society to thrive. Without him, the things they defined as happiness, as lively, would disappear. From that point on, some walk away. Some choose to leave and some choose to stay, as Ursula writes in her story, The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. Often the young people go home in tears, or in a tearless rage when they have seen the child and faced this terrible paradox. They may brood over it for weeks or even years, but as time goes on, they begin to realize that even if the child could be released, it would not get much good of its freedom. A little vague pleasure of warmth or food, no real doubt, but little more. So how is Afghanistan like Omelas? Found at the bottom of the Human Development Index and the GDP Index, they are, for some reason, the most sought-after nation, the most fought-after nation. It's the last place in the world you would imagine an Omelas society to emerge. 2021 marked the start of the Taliban. Afghans have seen it before. They were coming out of the oppression that created a dark cloud over the country from 1996 to 2001. After already being beaten by the Soviet Union for decades beforehand. The world knew what Taliban was bringing: guns, violence, and a disregard for human rights. Yet we let it happen, not only retreating our armies, but letting them take our aid. What choice did we have? Us in the Western world had no choice in the matter, right? Let's take a snapshot back to 2021. Canada and US were at war with the Taliban. Many losses had happened and America was losing troops. What did we decide to do? We evacuated our troops, leaving the Afghan women and children alone to fend for themselves. Some soldiers, though, didn't want to leave. They knew what they were leaving behind. They were leaving the hope of safety for the Afghan people, the women of Afghanistan. They were about to lose their freedom overnight. Securing their borders, anyone who tries to leave is killed. They bomb the refugee planes. They take women out of schools entirely. Any woman who has a degree automatically has it revoked, making them the first to fully ban any woman from education. They are locked up in their homes, never allowed to leave, and must wear burqas covering everything but their eyes, threatened to never be seen without one if they don't want to be publicly flogged. Countries start to catch on liking the amount of control that Afghanistan seems to have over its citizens and how the men seem to be all right with it because they are the ones that are being oppressed. It's part of the culture anyways. There's nothing you can do about it. If they spoke up, they would be killed too. China establishes relations. Pakistan and Iran, and anyone who goes over the border to escape the country is sent right back into violence, forcing millions of people to go back where they can't find a job, provide for their family, and they have to go back to where women's lives are non-existent. Picture this. A young Afghan woman, 23 years old, locked up in her home with 2 daughters. Her son is the breadwinner. He must go out and make the money, even though he's only 9. The father has joined the Taliban and is rarely at home. He joined because everyone else joined, and he must do what is right for his country. He has been trained that men are dominant since a young age and that women should not be seen in public, so he helps to participate in the public beatings of women when they are found to have disobeyed their husbands by going out of their houses, singing, refusing marriage to a random cousin. that's how life works. It's the only acceptable way for them. Now think about this. A man and his family desperately trying to escape from Afghanistan. They flee to Iran knowing that there their wives and their daughters will be able to be seen in public without being raped and will have the freedom to work and study. Where will they find the money to leave? He must go out and work, so he works hard for a year and builds connections with other men in his community who help him get the resources to provide for his wife and daughters. He becomes afraid that if he leaves, his family will have nothing all over again. He knows deep inside that what they are doing is wrong, but as long as it provides for him and his family, what can he do? As long as he doesn't see the violence, it will make no difference. Whether he stays or leaves, it will make no difference. The bigger issue is the culture will never change. It is just their culture. That is their excuse. What can you do about the kid in the closet? All you can do is keep him locked in, because if you expose him, you will lose your power. You will lose control over others' lives. You will lose control over your satisfaction, believing that you are providing a better life for your family by being a part of OMLAS, by locking up the kid in the basement, by making the decisions for them.